No, it's okay. It's beautiful. It's nice.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. It's
All right.
nice to have
Hey,
you all
what's
on.
up? What's up?
Good, good, good. I wanna and
Nigel.
Nigel, you guys took me back
Okay.
to those days of parading.
And look, I said we just started because Nigel likes to talk.
Yes, yes, yes. Those days when we used to be parading, man. I mean, we were just saying how different it is now
Oh
than it
yeah, it
used to
is.
be.
It
You
is. It
know?
is different. I mean, no,
Well,
Go
I do
ahead.
hope they're having just as much fun as we did.
I think they're
Well,
having
that's the only
their
part about
they're
it.
having fun in their own way, but so what they do now that they would sit, so because the rally would be held at the Windsor Park Stadium, so they would sit on the stands, and when the addresses are on, and when it's close to that time for them to go on parade to march, they would go on their on the grounds, but we had to stand through it all. So a lot has changed. At the end of it, you would be rewarded, I think, with a juicy, Nigel.
Yes,
Well, a
well,
glass
juicy
of juicy. Yeah, you could not get a whole
and you have.
juicy, and some milk
I think
buns.
Eric's just to give a little how do you call it? I mean the bun, right? I think.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes, it used to be the bun
Mm-hmm.
and the juicy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which listen, I think we used to actually march waiting for that.
Yeah.
That used to be the whole idea, you know. At the end of it all, you know, you're gonna get that. So that was the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing about it, you
Yeah,
know.
man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So
I mean, those were the good
I
days.
tell you,
But I mean, I'm glad that the kids are still enjoying it in a different way.
yeah.
I'm glad that they're probably having fun differently now, but still participating. That's
They
the
are
main thing, you
participating,
know.
and we still have a lot of groups as well. So we have the guides, we have the Brownies, still we have the Boy Scouts, and other groups, the Cadet Corps, and so they do enjoy it. But I just remember that back in the day, it was really, really, really big. It was just something else. And
Oh
as
yeah,
well,
oh yeah.
Nigel, what I remember as well, you remember Poppy Day as well, and when we would wear that poppy flower
Yes,
for
yes,
Remembrance Day.
yes. Yes, you used to have that little puppy and go up by the how you call it, by the cenotaph, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
yes,
yes.
yes. We went to the cenotaph then and made sure and the good. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how we were able to do that standing there. I'm not gonna say in the hot sun, you know, because maybe it was hot sun, but for some reason we didn't complain. I don't know.
No. But I think Soleil l'appli show. We say Josala. I don't know. There's something happening.
We got fun there, boys, huh?
Papa. Fante, we? Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely. But I think what was good was the preparation before the event.
I tell you, that's
You know,
it.
the
The
night before, how you
preparation,
would prepare and you'd be waiting for that Independence March and for the parade and you know what I mean, especially to make sure you were in line and looking spick and span and getting ready for the music lovers when they start striking that up.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so you can do the left, right.
Man, those days.
And
Boy, Nigel, let's
one or
come.
two people, one or two people faint, but it's all good.
I was just about to say that. But Nigel, let's come back to that time when we are in nowhere. It is obvious that a lot has changed, but we still have water in the Commonwealth. Okay?
We still have yes, in that Commonwealth.
Yeah, so
Still
quickly
do,
before we
still
bring on
do.
our guests, last night was Festival Duive #2. Later today we have the Southwest District Festival, and tomorrow there's the Northeast District Festival. History Week ran from the 3rd to the 7th, Nigel, with a focus on herbal traditions. There was a well-organized memorial lecture at the UWI Open Campus this week. Nigel, I'm not sure if you would have seen a lot of the traditional herbs and even spices that we grew up with finding their place on social media. So I learned some very interesting names of local herbs this week. Can you remember some of your local herbs? Probably Mervyn or Paul can give us an idea as to what
But
they remember.
I know Tabak I remember that for sure. That's one CME where you could not do without that. You know, you had to. I don't know. You know, like beginning of the school term, you used to get your washout, right?
And you're
You had to
saying,
get your washout.
Concoli.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, man. You have to give you a wash of the senna leaves. Before we used to call it sene, but we learned after it's the senna leaves, so you have to get that, your wash out, your glory cedar, your hibiscus leaf to wash your hair, and things like that.
Yes.
There was something called Bombi Jays. You remember that? What was that? Noreen, go and help me.
Noreen.
What was Bombi Jays? Anyway, we good to it. Yes, sir.
That's a lot. Yes, I do remember that one too well. So Noreen helped us on that one.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you know, this good thing about it. I mean, you know, grandparents and parents as well. we'll make sure that we, got our herbal teas. Make sure we drank those.
Yes.
And maybe at that time we probably, might have been complaining. But it's interesting to see now, currently, the use of those same herbs in various industries. And, one cannot forget blues for blazing the trail.
Yes, we have to remember blues. And there was this guy, Nigel, I'm not sure if you remember him. I'm trying to remember his name. Was it Matthew? He would pass around the incense man. Yes. Yes, I remember that as well. Man. Yes. Introduce incense. Matthew be going all over the place with his incense selling, and some nice, beautiful scents. And maybe at that time we didn't understand the significance of it and the importance of it. So we probably looked at Matthew differently. But now, of course, we do. Yeah. I tell you, boy, when you go back here.
Yes, I kind of missed that lecture though, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure I can, probably go back and take a listen on that particular one. Yeah,
man. But Nigel, if I thought that Meze Maui and Kukuli and even Pima Boda Majak were bad, I learned some new ones as well, during this week. And, well, not really new. It's just that some communities call them by a different name, I'm not even going to say, Nigel, that I was introduced to, how we call it, the CA border yesterday. Boy, did I say that? Nigel, let's welcome our guest. We papa met in trouble. Nigel.
Is it Simekotwa?
I know it's not Simekotwa. It's something like CA border. I don't know. No? Did you get that?
That's a new one now.
I suspect somebody was testing me if I'm to go and say that on here and put myself in some trouble there.
And put yourself in trouble now.
Anyway, but we had good times. We really had good times. We had the wheel cover part and so much we can just talk about. But Nigel, we have guests. Yes. But anyway, yes, I had also a fair share of my bush tea throughout the week. But then again, that's a given, So we mentioned like the tabac zobi, so the lemongrass, the zeb chepartier, the simekotwa, and things like that. Faith wef. But let's stop that, Nigel? Next week, quickly, let me tell you, next week is Emblems Week. Monday's Flag Day. So what is happening? Right? Yes, Monday's Flag Day.
Good. I have to try to get my flag. Well, I always have my flag anyways, as you can see. But I have to see if I can put it on the car and people will stop me and ask me what's going on. But that's the important thing.
Yes.
When you're out of Dominica, you try to find a way to continue the representation.
But you have to.
As I said in you last night on the jam, if Ace and those guys, what I kind of even loved more about it was the fact that, you had so many flags, so many people with the Dominican flags representing.
And the Dominicans, we like a chalet already.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, give us room.
We certainly do. So, that was pretty good. And like I say, keep me up here this morning.
Okay.
I surviving on Carnival energy.
Okay, so we are going to have fun. Let me just quickly say that the Dominica Houston Association, Nigel, quickly, is gearing up for its Grand Independence Gala next week. Evel Luge, Carlton Dangleben, and the entire team they're really putting things in place for a spectacular event on the 15th, I think. 15th is next week, Saturday.
Nice.
Nigel, we were not invited, and I hope you're not crooking me.
Again.
I hope I will not hear that you were there.
No.
Okay.
They haven't sent me anything yet. Okay. But I hope they look well. Not hope. I know they're listening, and it's not too late. It's across the street. Texas not too far from where I am, so you can still send the ticket.
All right. And I hope, Nigel, as well, you had time with the gouache I sent you. I myself not in that drum thing with you today. We will use the gouache instead. Do you have it, Nigel? Because we're going to bring on our guest now. You can't find the gouache?
I give you the story from the morning already. I come straight from you, but I just put another shit and I come here. So
anyway,
excuse me, I apologize.
Okay, Nigel, and quickly, not to forget to pack my stuff in your grip, The white sample I ordered. No. Remember, I ordered my my outfit for the big affair we're going to talk about.
I have that. I organized in that grip. All is well for Creole Fest. Yes,
yeah, remember, I want to look elegant. I will wear like a halo made of dots because I have to represent. Look at me with my nice white clothes and I have a halo made of dots, like a big juju. Nigel. Anyway, it's a pleasure to welcome Paul Phillip and Wayne Liebert to the program, right, Nigel?
Yes.
Members of the CFOCAL Alumni Association. The association has a grand event soon, and they will tell us about that.
Definitely. So they're going to be telling us about that. They're going to be telling us about themselves a little. They're going to be talking a little bit about CFOCAL back then, CFOCAL now. I mean, it's changed to Dominica State College. Of course, everybody's already saying hi. Winnie Green wants to say hi to Paul and Wayne. Those of you on the Facebook page, everybody starts saying hi. Alvin Thomas, good morning to you, and all the others joining. But it's nice to have Paul and Wayne here with us. And more importantly, that we can connect. This feels like a CFOCAL reunion, though. But we can connect in a way and share the good vibes and share what's going to be happening with this big event that's happening during the Creole, during the independence season. But before we do this, Paul will also let us know a little bit about the dialysis initiative that's going on, because I know we spoke about that previously as well. So quite a bit to cover, right?
And but Nigel, by the way, quickly, you have to check the book. You remember your job, right? You got the memo.
Oh, yes.
Keep checking the book and the comments and the questions and suggestions and all of that.
Let me get the pencil so I don't forget, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, welcome, guys. I'm probably gonna go with what? Who should we go with? We should go with background. We should go with seeing Wayne's beautiful background there, on the beach, enjoying it. You know where he is, but he's enjoying that beach wherever he is. So Jade is natural. Good morning to you. Appreciate you loving and enjoying the vibes as well. Yeah, I think almost everybody who went to CFOCAL is going to be joining this morning. So
a lot of people, a lot. By the way, Nigel, let's just say good morning to former Commissioner of Police Desmond Blanchard. I mean, he always listens, He always listens, and he really loves that program. Always listens. So we can give him a big up as well.
Big up to him. Yes, definitely.
A special good morning to Mr. Blanchard, very good friend of my family.
All right.
My dad was commissioner before him, 2 commissioners before him, but his children, Miriam and Ian and they're all good friends of ours, and Mr. Blanchard always gets a special visit from me whenever I'm back in Dominica. Right. So good morning for joining, along with all the CFOCAL alumni who is on the line as well.
All right. So Nigel, because I tell you, I get the reviews.
Yes. And even before we even go and say hi to Wayne, JD Natural want to know how she can join the association. Okay, Paul and Wayne. So link up with JD's Naturals. She would like to know how to join the association because she want to make sure she's part of the events and part of everything else. So we'll talk about that, of how you can become a member. Hey, Wayne, good morning to you. It's good to see you again, man. What's up?
Fine. Good morning, Nigel. It's been a while. I want to say hi to everybody watching and to your loyal listeners, especially Mr. Blanchard and his kids, Ian, and everybody, friends of mine as well. You can join. For the people who are online, they can probably just send me a message and I can forward them the information. But essentially, we have a small registration fee of $20 and a $50 annual membership fee. So that's really nominal considering the great work we've been doing. And we have quite a few people on board. And it's really nice to reconnect with everybody from CFOCAL. I mean, it's a pleasure and doing great work to help Dominica while doing so.
All right. Of course, good morning to you, my brother Eddie. Nice to know you're logged on. Of course, Dubs, as always, loyal connector on the program. So, I don't know, you ready for us to get into
yes,
story?
Of course I'm ready.
Yeah?
And you forget that you're sleeping on you, man.
Boy, I tell
your
you,
time, we know.
I tell you, remember.
3 men and one lady there. I taking a little back seat.
Remember, after I woke up Friday morning, I haven't slept yet. So, you have to keep me on track.
Okay.
So, when, I don't know if you've have listened to any of the Connecting the Dots. Paul, we had a little bit about it before that. So we'd like to find out from our guests, first of all, in terms of, just a little background, what area of Dominica that they're from, schools that they went to, and, a little bit of the childhood and stuff like that. So, what part of Dominica are you from, Wayne, and what are the schools that you went to prior to CFOCAL?
By the way, Wayne, even before you answer this, you never heard about Connecting the Dots before?
I have.
Oh,
I
you're
have.
lucky.
And I have tuned in on occasion.
Okay.
So
I don't know if you
I was going to give him a song too.
I don't know if you say yeah, but you just want to give him a song too.
Yes. Yeah. Just like that.
So I'm from Marigat. You know, I think it's the #1 village in Dominica.
The man just this.
I can understand that.
I was about to say he just good,
but the man this grandfather there we and put me in a kind of a tie up there.
The man just this you there.
What? A joke that man. Anyway, tell us, Dwight.
And you know, at some point in my youth, you know, our family moved to Roseau, and I went to Goodwill Junior High School, which probably many of the listeners went to. I don't know what happened, but along the way, I think my mother put me in Roseau Boys School for a year or two. And then I went to Dominica Grammar School.
Say that again, wait.
Dominica Grammar School.
Okay.
The #1 high school in Dominica.
Okay.
All right. Paul and I will have something to say about it later on, but continue.
Nobody happy. Let's go.
And you know, part of the growth of Sifokol was its close proximity to Dominica Grammar School, and so a lot of the cream of the crop from Sifokol came from Dominica Grammar School, and I'm sure everybody watching would agree.
Everybody disagrees.
Keep mentioning DGS every time. I'm wearing that's a nice tagline. Anything you say, let's put DGS.
But during your time in primary school, would you say that, would you consider yourself to have been like a troublesome guy? Do you think, were you involved in other activities, sporting activities, or, you know, was it just a matter of school and that's it kind of a thing?
Well, I think I was involved in a little bit of extra curricular activities, but I was generally observing the HIGAS instead of in part of the HIGAS.
I like Mr. Style there.
You were the silent observer.
I was the silent observer, yeah.
You look trouble now. Jennifer Library want to tell you that the cream of the crop actually came from CHS, not DGS.
Okay, Nigel, let's move on. Let's move on.
You see trouble when start there this morning.
Let's move on. Next.
Yeah.
Yes, wait, continue. Wait, boy.
So during, so in a sense, you know, of course, so you did the primary school and then moved on to Sifokol. At the primary school during that time, school days, then, would you say that in a sense, or what was it like for you during those school days? I mean, was it, in terms of, you've already mentioned, you know, you were involved in other extracurricular activities. I'm trying to get a sense as to what was it like primary school those days.
Well, I think primary school was a little different for me than for many, because my mother also taught at the school. So you had to be well behaved.
Oh, that's a problem.
No, Mrs. Liebert. So Georgina Liebert. And so, you know, the teachers had me in line. I remember Mrs. Roberts and others giving me a stern warning or a spanking with a ruler on my hand anytime I misbehaved. So I had to keep in line in Goodwill School.
Was it difficult for you, knowing that your mom was also teaching there, and you go into the school? Was it an added pressure?
I didn't think about it much. Probably her presence there helped rather than hurt. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I knew she was there, and she really didn't interfere in the work that I did there and my studies. And I think it was a good outcome, you know. But yeah, her presence probably helped keep me in line a little bit.
Okay.
You know, unconsciously.
Unconsciously. All right. Well, so we're gonna get back in, because one of the things we like to do, you know, connecting the dots. Of course, we connect stuff, right? So we're gonna come back a little bit and see whether that time at primary school, whether in any way it had any bearing on what you had to eventually do in terms of, you know, Sifokol whether the leadership skills were born from there, whether the discipline came from there, and so on. But Paul, we moved from the best village.
Let me hear Paul's story.
Yes. So Paul, tell us a little bit about your story now.
So I was born at Princess Margaret Hospital, so I have to claim goodwill. Although my father is from Wayne's Village.
Your father is from where? Wayne's Village. Okay.
Yeah, and I practically spent every summer of my life growing up as a kid. In fact, I went to kindergarten in Marigat at some point, which I don't even understand what that was all about. But so I'm gonna have to claim Goodwill and Roseau, Goodwill Junior High School as well. And then SMA, where I met you, Nigel, right? So definitely, I remember go to school. Roger Blanchard was in class with me, and he was right down the road, living in Portersville. I was right across the road, living in Libla Lane. So it was really a really good community, right? Our fathers were police officers, and we had to be kind of on our best behavior, just like Wayne was. Right?
Nigel, let me just interrupt. That police officer father thing there, I find that coming very regularly, connected.
Very regularly.
We have had quite a few guests who have had police officers as their father.
Yes, Kofi, whose father was a police, Maxime, Z.
That's right.
And there were others I just can't remember now, yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? We all knew each other as children, as police father, police children. So we had a little camaraderie among us, right? Maxime, Joe P. and all the boys. The Pierre guys, Ensley Pierre's sons, Derek Pierre and Charles Pierre. So, funny, we felt protected because people didn't mess around with policemen children.
What? So you could flung that in their face, eh?
I have a little police connection too, with small Dorset. My uncle was a policeman, and then my godfather, Evander Joseph, was deputy of police. So,
Boy, Nigel, media trying to rack my brain, trying to wonder why did the police force never? Nigel not coming. It's not coming in, Nigel. I can't remember that. What? No.
But so Paul, you grew up in Goodwill area. I'm going to imagine that Lindo Park was like, a favorite spot to hang out, right?
Lindo Park, and then of course we had in SMA, remember Cottingham? So myself, I was sports master. So myself, Wadiko, Ian Blanchard, quite a few of us were in track and field. So we would be crossing the river early morning and heading to the gardens. Practice early morning before we go to school. So our day started pretty early, those of us that, unlike Wayne, that was in track and field.
I remember we had Irvin guy on the program a couple of weeks ago, and of course he was mentioning, the rivalry between DGS and SMA for, athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a pizza.
Oh yes. So primary school, were you involved in any? Apart from the athletics, were you involved in other activities? Were you the troublesome guy? Of course, of being the policeman child, you had to be on your P's and Q's kind of a thing.
I tried to be the troublesome guy, but that didn't work out well with my father. And then I recognized to my dad, if I wanted to get away with anything, I had to bring home those A's.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and then I would get away with some stuff, right? And that kind of just set my path all the way through SMA. And I remember one year that picked up my report at SMA, and I was always challenging Brother Peter, on matters of religion. And Brother Peter said to him, I'm very challenging, or something to that effect. And Dad looked at my report card, and my lowest score was 96. And he said, what's wrong with that, man?
Your lowest score was 96, and he felt that there was a problem with this? Nigel, so I try to remember what my mother said when she saw 53 on my
He walked away and he's like, I don't know what's wrong with that. He's looking at my report card and he can't see a problem with his son. Just so, but again, that points to the fact that our parents place a high premium on academics because they wanted their kids to succeed. It was a pathway in their mind for us to get to higher education and make, become professionals. So through most of my life, that's pretty much was the objective, to go to school, work hard, and then hopefully, reap the rewards of that.
Would you say, I mean, both of you, and I mean, one of the things Yvonne and I always talk about is how the community back then seemed to have been raising the child. That any of the elders in the community could have taken responsibility to discipline you, right? Was that the same thing for you? Do you find the elders in the community had a responsibility to almost raise you or discipline you or correct you, and you took no offense to that?
No, I mean, yes, I agree. Well, none of them disciplined us, in terms of corporal punishment, right? But we certainly had a high level of respect for our elders. In fact, I don't think there's an elder in my life, including my parents, who's ever heard me curse, right? And Nigel, I'm sure you've heard me curse, right? Definitely. But the fact is, we knew where to draw the line, and we knew that anybody that's in that parental group was, quote unquote, responsible for our upbringing. And several times you would run into, Mr. Blanchard, Mr. Rennie Clark, who was the chief warden officer, lived two houses from me, by the way. And these guys will take you to task. What are you doing with your time? If they thought you were out there goofing around, you would have to have a conversation, right? So this was just a normal, natural part. And in turn, my father did that with a lot of my friends as well. So the community was huge in terms of the bilateral respect, and that you had to afford the parents, and that they themselves gave you, by way of their conversations with you or transmitting information to you. So when I look back at it, a lot, Gabriel Christian's dad, Mr. Christian, lived, one lane behind me. And you couldn't walk by this guy without having a conversation. Like, he will put you into a meaningful conversation, whether you wanted it or not. So those interactions are very instrumental in helping to develop the person that I think most of us became.
What about you, Wayne? What will be forever? 100%. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, my experience was similar. Obviously, I had to respect my elders, and you felt a certain level of responsibility to be on your best behavior when you're around them. You certainly didn't want a bad word to go back to your parents, because that's probably where the corporal punishment might come in. But I mean, I think talk about being raised by the village. Truly, I remember, like Paul, all of my summers, every holiday was spent with my grandparents in Marigat. And I mean, one of the proud moments is walking down on a weekend or during the week with my grandfather, going by the bay to get fish or to get bread down on, Four Corners or something. And, and everybody saying hi. And today, I walk in Marigat or anywhere, and, everybody remember that or know my name or know my, my grandfather. Who by the name, his nickname was Reason, Alan Dorset.
What's his name? What was his nickname is what? Reason.
Wow.
Reasonable guy.
That's for reasoning.
That name says a lot. Reason.
So
you probably like to talk with.
I know, right?
You did. I told me a lot of stories.
A lot of stories, I can imagine. So we're going to get into Sifo Call in just a little bit. Last kind of, before we move into that connection part of it. By the way, good morning to you, Martha. Martha Maynard, good to know that you logged in as well. And who is this now again? Mervyn Nicholas. Yeah, Mervyn Nicholas, all the way in New Jersey. No, South Carolina. Good morning to you too. Ivan, are you doing okay so far the book?
Yes, you're doing okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. So yes, we're gonna get into Safer Calling a little bit, and our journey there. But DGS and SMA always seem to have had some kind of rivalry, right? Win and Paul. And maybe Ivona can probably tell us better because, the fact that she's, in Dominica now and, have kids going to school and everything else. Was it like a healthy rivalry? Do you think that that kind of rivalry made our performances better, whether it was in sports, in academics, and anything else?
I think if I can take that, and I think it was very healthy because DGS and grammar school, DGS and SMA were basically made up of...
It's okay, you could save the DGS at the grammar school. You could have DGS.
Yeah, he started
but,
right.
But you know what? All of the folks, even though we had academic and sports, track and field rivalry, we were all friends.
Yeah.
At the basic level, we were all friends because the community is just way too small not to be running into each other, besides those competitive periods. And then I think the culmination of that, to me, in my time anyway, was when DGS and SMA formed a team together, a football team. Graham Academites, Irving Guy, Ian Blanchard, you have Jeff, Leblanc, Shanti, and, Wariko. Listen, that team went all the way to, what is it called, from second to first. They took everybody out when they came together. So the rivalry, I thought, was healthy. I remembered track and field, Reggie Harris, who was a SMA guy who lived right next door to me. His father was a prison warden. And Bobby Shaw going against each other in the 400 and the 800. I met Bobby the other day, and I was recalling to him, I had never seen something so spectacular. Wow. SMA going up against DGS, and in the end, those guys were really, really good friends. Like, I
don't want to interrupt, but I really wish these things were really documented, for posterity. I don't know. We were not big on, archiving back in the day. But what you're saying there, I mean, if I could just see this somewhere, like read it somewhere, go to the DGS or the SMA and get all of that, wow. But it's nice that people like you can remember so much.
Yeah, it was beautiful. But Nigel, I thought it was a good, friendly, and productive rivalry.
Academites, okay.
Yeah, definitely a healthy rivalry. Some of my best friends, unfortunately, went to SMA.
I like your style. One thing I like you. Nice vibes. You're really in line with my kind of vibes. That's nice. Continue.
You have to screen him before you come on next time.
I think you can check the rest of the program talking. You all would.
Well, I mean, do you, because, you're the one that, lives in Dominica now, and I guess, have kids, and you're probably more familiar with the school vibes now. Does that friendly rivalry still exist, or is it like, man, SMA is SMA, DJ, CHS is CHS, and nobody's having anything going on right now?
I don't see it that much, but I won't say it's not there. I mean, especially where sports is concerned. I mean, we still have a lot going on, among the schools. There are still activities that are being held. But what we had before, as compared to what we have now, and, I'm not really sorry to say this. It was just different. It was really different. I mean, if you go back to the day when we had cross-country in particular, cross-country was a big thing, at the schools. It was really, really big, and you don't see that. You don't see that again. You don't see that again. Yes, we have basketball competitions. We have inter-school competitions. We have netball and all of that, Convent High School would defeat the Dominica Grammar School, and SMA would get a beating from, But, I mean, the level that it was before, it is so much different, and a lot of things that we can say we can attribute to that. I mean, we have more distractions now. I mean, we had so much more raw talent before. Probably we were more disciplined back in the day. So a lot I can say, but yes, the rivalry is there, but it is not what it was before. It was before,
yeah. When you talk about raw talent, nobody used to go into the gym and train and so forth. You just show up and put on their best.
I don't think we have gyms really, right? I don't think we have like how we have a gym today in Dominica. I mean, guys, this is the only little thing on the beach in Valley River or in the park itself. Like Paul said, early morning, do your own thing, you know. So let me say good morning to Linthea as well. Or Linda John Jules Vidal. Good morning to you. Althea Prosper. Good morning to you. Glenda Defoe Levenstone. Good morning to you.
Yes, I
know. Some people from Seafocal I haven't seen for so long. I hadn't seen hello.
Yes, so we're going to Seafocal vibes. We're going to Seafocal. Yes. But let me just ask, moving quickly, in terms of, is there something that you can remember about the Dominica Grammar School? You know, something that will be forever etched in your memory. And obviously, I have to ask you about the DGS. But is there something that you can really remember?
You like to ask me about DGS? Yeah.
Remember, at school, at secondary school, that will really just stand out.
I will tell you, I think I was in third form, and there was a professor visiting from Guyana. One of those indelible moments in my life at Dominica Grammar School. And we were standing at the front on the lawn, and he asked me what I wanted to do. And I said, well, I wanted to study maths when I go to college. And he said, have you ever considered computer science? Because if you're good in math, you'll be good in computer science. And if you do math, you're going to be either a teacher or an actuary. And I did a little research. And from that day, I wanted to study computer science. And eventually did so. So that was, that's a moment I'll always remember. Now, I don't know where Richie is, but he was at DGS for probably a year or so teaching, but really changed the arc of my life in terms of what I eventually end up doing. So, DGS was really left a huge mark. Besides that, all the memories, all of my friends there was huge. Okay. And I'm sure Paul has similar experiences.
Yeah, so what about you, Paul? Because I want to ask as well, because you went to an all-boys school as opposed to Wayne going to a co-ed institution. Brothers,
I was less distracted than Wayne, obviously.
But I want to ask you a question after that, because Nigel told me a lot about when he was at SMA. I'm passing on Virgin Lane, going close to the Convent High School. Can I ask you that too? You used to go yesterday, Paul.
Was the problem.
Paul,
you should have a different road for us.
Paul.
Because we're both Catholic schools, we had a special relationship with Convent High School. That's all we got. That's all we have to say about that, right, Nigel?
That's all we can say. Yes. That's the connection.
No, but seriously. So what can you remember? What stands out when you remember your days at
I remember having professors like Cuthbert Elwin, who were just relatable and really encouraging you to be your best. And he taught us English, right? I'm sure he may have taught a few other classes, but this, and I thought I was a pretty decent writer in my time. Because my family, we grew up reading a lot. My dad, both my mom. In fact, Gabriel Christian credits him being a lawyer to the library that he would read at my home. So we had a community library, and folks who love to read would stop by. So Mr. Elwin kind of really recognized that I had some skills in writing, and after I presented a paper to him once, and he came to me privately and asked me, Paul, did you write this, or did your older brother David write this? And I said, David could not write as well as I do. And at that moment, he really took an interest in my writing, and it's really, it was really pivotal in just me always feeling confident that I could put pen to paper and make a case for myself, right? And I never forgot that, Overall, in the end, I went strongly towards the sciences, because like when I was strong in math, I was strong in all of the sciences. And then when I came to the States, my whole thought process was, let me do a 4-year degree that can give me money at the end of it. And I went into engineering. So that was it. That was an easy decision for me. But in my other life, I think I could have been a lawyer, because I really do like the whole writing and arguing and, you know, as Nigel know, we spent enormous amount of time in CIFA call, just going through debating back and forth on relevant and irrelevant issues of the day.
You sometimes make the irrelevant one become relevant, right?
Exactly.
At the end of it all.
Yes. And then, of course, Brother Jermaine, being the strict disciplinarian that he was, also, it was discipline of care, right? It was balance, right? So everybody think of him as, you know, really strong disciplinarian. But if you had a chance to talk to Brother Jermaine on an issue, a personal or emotional issue, you'd realize how much he actually was a caring individual.
Yes.
So
we had him as a guest.
Balance,
we had him as a guest on Connected the Dots already.
So that balance was really instrumental, you know, in my development.
Were you there? Were you at SMA when Brother Wakeham was there as well? No.
I think Wakeham would have been before my time. Were we?
I think
it would have been after. No, it would have been after.
No, Wakeham came towards the end of us living, Paul.
Okay, after.
Yeah,
okay.
So we didn't get that much of Wakeham. Of course, we had Brother French.
Right.
You know, but Wakeham came a little after. Yeah.
And I could just say, I think Brother Jermaine has had the pleasure of beating me only once in 5 years. I'm getting that spanking, because I think he and I developed a relationship where he knew I was a responsible young man. I could talk my way out of most of the things that I got caught up.
Was Nigel a quiet boy back then at school? Was he
Nigel appeared to be a very talkative guy on some levels, right? But I think also he was also very studious. So, but he wasn't a talkative guy in the class, you know, in my opinion. But if you meet him in recess, he was always engaged in some large conversation. That was that's my impression.
I asked that because
we always used to have.
Yeah.
I asked that because recently we had Dr. Valda Henry on Connecting the Dots, and she was talking about her days with Nigel at the Sixth Form College, and she had a story about something like a fight with Nigel.
Well, she was chasing me.
Anyway. So
let's remember that I
but of course
you saying Valda beat up Nigel?
Yes, sir. Nigel Pwekui.
I will call and clarify, please.
Yes, sir.
Valda, call and clarify.
Beat it.
And you know, by the way, Valda is our secretary, so he's part of the Dominica Supercol Alumni Association.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into CIFO call and what's been happening in the CIFO call and what happened then and the big event that's coming. Let me say good morning to Keith, of course, Keith Benjamin. Paul, Keith wants to say good morning, and you're taking down the memory lane. You guys we're all classmates around them time at SMA, so he says some wonderful memories there at SMA at the time.
By the way, we can take a few calls. Let me just say we can take a few calls.
Definitely. But you want to tell Wayne very early that it wasn't DGS, it was SMA, but of course, yes. So good morning to you, Keith.
Say again, Nigel, but it wasn't DGS, it was SMA?
No, I'm not saying that. No.
I didn't get that.
I spent my second half at DGS, so I claim in both. But of course, SMA
yes, Nigel was my teacher, Papa. Nigel taught me at school. Imagine that. Yes, sir, boy. Yes, sir.
But let's go to CIFO last night at this jam, I was telling everyone, of course, it was Miami Carnival weekend. So, you know, at this jam with Ace and the other guys there. I mean, the amount of people that I met in terms of, they were like, hey, so Ace, I'm like, man, really? I don't remember that one. Do you remember? So good morning to all the students that I taught. Good morning to you. But yeah, CIFO call. So in terms of before we get to the association, CIFO call, of course, for those who may not know, we continue to refer to it as CIFO call. Now, of course, it's the Dominica State College. CIFO call, Sixth Form College. And
there's also the technical
both of you guys, side. Was it like a turning point when we got to CIFO call to meet students from other schools coming in that one melting pot? Would you say in a sense that was a turning point in how you began to view what could happen for, you know, not just education, but could happen for you?
Well, Meeting folks from Woodford Hill, Portsmouth, Christy Alcid, Dr. Sabin, Steve Sabin, Eddie Bruno, folks from all over the island, Niger,
yes,
which
yes.
I assume there might have been a sprinkling of those in SMA as well as DGS, but CIFOCOL just opened up a spigot of folks from all over the island, and then you started understanding those guys' background, their journey, and most of them were extremely well. To get to CIFOCOL, you had to be kind of the creme de la creme. Sorry to say it that way, but so most of these guys were very, very bright academically, very interesting individuals. So it really started to show the possibilities for our country, to me, if we took all our talent, right, and pulled them together. And I remember opening day at CIFOCOL, I saw a bunch of guys that looked like they're from the country on one side of the building. And then, I said to Irvin McIntyre and Mikey Eugene, I said, yo, let's go meet those guys, And we went and we introduced those guys to all the rows of people. because we clearly, nobody knew who they were, and they didn't know who we were, and they were staying on their side of the building, And that just became, the beginning of a great 2 years, which, Nigel, you were part of, right? And then, of course, for me, I was the first time ever in high school time frame in classes with women. So,
oh yes, you came from an all boys school. Oh, okay, yes.
Wayne was one step ahead of him because Wayne had already been distracted, but
I was already accustomed to that.
Yeah, of course. Already. Yeah, man.
Back then they had a word for that. Back then a lot of people was acting farouche because.
I would have looked at it and
but you good. I tell you. That's our co-host. That's our co-host first.
Yes.
By the way, let me just say quickly though. I don't want to interrupt. Nigel, when we sent out the flyers early, a lot of people would respond. So when I sent out the flyer, I got a response from a very good friend, Dr. Maxime Vigilant, who was a guest as well on our program. And so when he saw who our guests are, he was like, "Wow, man, I haven't heard this guy's voice for more than 30 plus years. Paul also good vibes. I on as usual." So I just had to say that, Maxime, Dr. Maxime Vigilant is listening.
Maxime was my good partner. I haven't seen or spoken to Maxime in a long, long time, 30 years. Yeah, and then some,
That's what connected the dots. That's what connected the dots.
He was a guest. He was an early guest. Yes.
Yes.
We plan to have him on again.
As well. Good morning to you all. Yes.
Yeah. No, definitely. I remember walking the halls and chatting crap with Maxime in the halls of DGS and stuff. Maxime is always one to sort of engage in, lively and interesting conversation. Definitely I'd want to connect with Maxime,
Okay. Cool. And of course, let me say good morning to Dr. Philgood Aaron. Good morning to you as well. I mean, the kinds of discussions that we had, Paul, at the back there, on that playing field, DGS, and around the area, the kinds of discussions that we used to have, the kind of topics that we discussed and debates that we had, in a sense, would you say that also kind of laid a foundation for what we are doing today in terms of, giving back?
I think so. Also, I think what it did was to open up the possibility in our minds, right? Of coming together, right, without malice and with a good intent, and and the funny thing is we had a lot of political discussions then too, but it did not get between our friendships, right? So it laid that foundation for us to be able to say, yeah, we can disagree, but we can still find ways to work together, right? And so I think that was one of the messages, or at least one of the crystallizing messages I came away from with those discussions. I mean, you couldn't win an argument without the Aaron, right?
Atlee's listening. So
No, but you could not win an argument with this guy, even if you knew he was wrong, right? So, but it did not affect the friendship, right? You just kept going on. Dr. Sabin himself was a strong debater on issues, on social issues. So not surprising that these guys all turn out to be leaders in their own right. When you see how strongly they held their views, how intensely they would, how passionate they were about the things that were important to them, right? Wrong or right, but these are individuals that they have a purpose, right? So obviously it translated into some level of professional success. Mm-hmm. Very proud of the group of guys.
Yeah, one of the things that was clear to me back then, as I kind of reminisce sometimes, mm-hmm. Is that there was no limit to our ambitions. I remember guys like Michael Savary. I remember Michael Savary, he wanted to study either astrophysics or nuclear physics or whatever. Everybody had huge ambition. I think I was the only person who wanted to study computer science, but a lot of engineers, a lot of lawyers. And I was talking to my brother. He was asking me about the group, and I just mentioned that to Paul a couple of days ago. Almost half of our membership either have MDs or PhDs. I'm probably one of the few in minor. So we have a strong group of people coming back from that time and who are all want to help Dominica in some way, irrespective of where they're located today. And that's huge. And I think we can be a huge X factor in the development of Dominica. And that's what it's all about. So everybody who is listening today, I want them to DM me and join up and help make a difference in Dominica, because that's what it's all about, giving back.
Definitely so. And I think apart from all the discussions and the debates and everything we had at CIFOCOL then, I think we also helped each other, whether it was materially, whether somebody didn't have something, we would chip in and give somebody something to help them. And I think, someone like Atlee would definitely agree with that in terms of, just helping each other to succeed, no matter what the situation was. We felt it was just all, it's all of us together making it happen kind of thing. So,
and Nigel, why I mentioned that in terms of our membership, we just had a member, and she has a PhD in chemistry. Her husband just won the Nobel Peace Prize, shared with two other people for chemistry. So that's how strong a bench we have in CIFOCOL, and obviously our membership. Anyway,
that's Phaedra Saint-Hilaire, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. In fact, I read it. I got it via email. I think it was sent by Mervyn. So good news, really good news. I mean, I read upon it. And so Nigel, we just have increasing the database in terms of people we have to call for connecting the dots.
Yes,
because we should have our own as well.
Yeah, definitely so. And of course, those who want to call in, they can always call in as well and connect with us. So if you feel like calling in, make sure you do that and call in. Snapper Laura, of course, wants to ask Paul and Wayne if they still play pool. So we'll find out later if they still do that. But in terms of and good morning to you, Darren Grell, as well, all the CIFOCOL alumni, good morning to you guys. It's good to know that you're part of this. Continue connecting the dots, though. And so, CIFOCOL Alumni Association, how did that come about? How can one become a member? And then we're going to get into the big event that's being planned.
So let me give you the short version of this. We had a reunion at Dr. McIntyre's home in 2019. Post the Maria. And there were about 20-something of us up there. Somebody brought up to our attention that one of our CIFOCOL colleagues had been suffering renal failure. And post that, Valda Henry, Helen Mello, and myself went to visit that colleague of ours in Concord. And post that visit, we, just formulated among the group that we're going to try to assist the individual, with transportation. His daughter was going to the Dominica State College, so we picked up the cost of his transportation to dialysis in Roseau 3 days a week, and his daughter's going to college 5 days a week, and we carried that for about 2 to 3 years. But in that time frame of us assisting him, we started thinking of how can we throw that assistance not just to him but to the community. And in the thrust of that discussion, we formalized the group. I believe Michael Eugene is responsible for coming up with the name Dominica Sifokol Alumni Association, so kudos to him. And we became a nonprofit in Dominica in 2020 and a nonprofit in the United States in 2021. So we officially registered in both countries. We had to get special permission from the government of Dominica to use Dominica in its name. We were very pleased that the Dominica State College recognized us as the only an official alumni association of the Dominica State College, which now encompasses what was Sifokol, Clifton Dupini, and the others under one umbrella. So we're very pleased for that, what I would call official recognition, and we've worked closely with them on several different initiatives. And so that's where that's where DISA came from just, trying to help. Well, maybe from a little reunion party, which you missed, by the way, Nigel.
Man, I know. Next one.
And then, but when you do things with the best of intents, just it just tends to spiral into very interesting outcomes. I have to say, one of the most pleasing things for me being part of the association is getting to be on different committees. Like we've got the dialysis committee, we've got a think tank which you've got to join, Nigel. We've got a reunion committee that we're working on right now, and several different committees, membership committee. But having the opportunity, Nigel, if you can imagine, and I wanna, of meeting Wayne Liburd 30 years post sixth form and working with him or Akandia, Richards Clark, or Jennifer Liburd in a semi-professional environment, because we all go to our own jobs, right? But when we decide we're on a committee working towards some end goal, we're now putting our professional, attributes together. And it's been an amazing journey to see how great some of these people are. Because we've all worked with people in our workforce that we don't care for and that kind of thing. And I feel like, easily been the best group of people I've ever worked with. Right. So like a Helen Mello, when she shows up, Glenda, Philbert McIntyre, when she shows up, Nigel, it's just going to blow you away how crazily professional these people are. Right. So that's been amazing. It's like my second job is better than my first job.
Yeah, I can imagine, when you get together, Glenda and Helen and all the rest of them, I can just imagine, and and Jen and everybody else, the kind of discussion and the kind of, apart from the camaraderie, but still keeping in focus what is it we want to do,
Right.
So the dialysis is part of just one of the events that you do, or one of the committees that you have. When any other activities that's going on with the Alumni Association?
Yeah, so you mentioned dialysis, and I'll start off with that. Our dialysis committee is headed by Jennifer Liburd, Dr. Jennifer Liburd. And, many people have asked whether she's my wife, but she isn't. She's my cousin. But
yeah, okay, Jen, okay.
But yeah, the dialysis committee, we took to task when we decided to help our colleague to decentralize dialysis in Dominica. So here he had to travel an hour plus to get to Roseau to get dialysis 3 times a week. And we thought we should get a dialysis machine, at least one, placed in a rural area in Dominica. And right off the bat, I think we shot very high. We decided to raise $110,000 for 2 dialysis machines in Dominica at a rural location. To date, we've raised some $87,000 in that effort. We got a huge assistance from the Maria Holder Trust of $47,000. The rest of that is through some $20,000 of that for our GoFundMe, and a lot of that also coming from members who dug deep into their pockets to assist, and supporters. You know, even people who haven't joined the association, but we communicate to, have contributed significantly. And members have come up with unique ways. We've had people who either have a birthday or funeral and rather have people do flowers or contribute to the dialysis project. And that's one of the things we're very, very proud of. And we hope to be placing 2 machines in Dominica soon. So that's well underway. Paul already mentioned the membership committee, where we're trying to assist, obviously getting more people on, making more people aware. That's one of the reasons for this project. Membership committee is headed by Paul. We want to have more people know of the existence of this association, because all too often I run into somebody and they're not aware. They're like, oh, I don't know this association. And I'll tell you, when we meet, and we meet via Zoom and people all over the world, we will spend, ideally we try to have our meeting go 90 minutes. More than likely it goes 2-3 hours, and then even after the meeting ends, people still stay on talking after that. It's huge. We have a mentorship committee where we hope to mentor people, not only in Sixth Form College but other schools on the island. You know, we have a road signage committee headed by Keith. So we have several different committees that people can partake of. We have this reunion committee. We hope to get together, a group of us in Dominica, and I think that's going to be huge. So I encourage everybody listening who went to Call. And also, one of the things we realized is that, you know, initially we said you had to be a graduate of the Dominica Sixth Form College or one of the associated things, Clifton Dupini. And a lot of people were displaced during Hurricane David and others, and had to go to other islands to finish their schooling. And so now, as long as you went to one of the institutions, Dominica Sixth Form College, the Clifton Dupini Community College, for at least, or Dominica Technical College as well, for at least 1 year, you're eligible to become a member. So you don't even have to graduate from one of these institutions, because more likely than not, there are guys who spend 1 year and end up immigrating to the US to continue to go to college and so forth. And we want them to join us. And we're doing great things. And what is also different than a lot of other associations in Dominica, we took the time not only to get the use of the name Dominica, to from Dominica State College, to get the permission to use the name Call in our name, and to register in Dominica, which we did on December 14, 2020, as an official corporation and a non-profit corporation in Dominica. And we realized, in really to leverage the diaspora and all of the Dominicans living out here, that we should also register in the US. So I think it was October 17, 2021, we were officially registered at a 501c3 corporation in Florida in the US. So those donations are tax deductible. And if you purchase on Amazon or any one of these things, you can select Dominica Call Alumni Association, so that a small percentage of your purchases, doesn't increase the amount you pay, would be contributed to our association. So there are many, many ways in which you can help and give back. And we hope that after this meeting, or even during, that a lot of people are going to sign up, certainly make it known to us and join our ranks.
For those who don't know, how do you sign up?
Well, if you go to cifocalalumni.org or cifocalalumni.com, there is a link on there to sign up for membership. So that's the easy way to go. So cifocalalumni.org or cifocalalumni.com, there is a link and how you can pay the membership dues or fees. We also, you can search Dominica Civic Alumni Association on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You should like and follow us. Also on LinkedIn, and join up and be part of the group. Reconnect. Connect the dots.
There you go. Connect the dots. That's it.
Yeah. Actually, in more ways than one, this is actually perfect in your name and what we're trying to do. We're trying to connect the dots in Dominica and with our alumni all over the world.
That's good. That's good. By the way, let me just tell people that they can call 1-800-327-448-3284. And if you're calling from overseas, it's 305-432-9744. I wanted to ask you though about the mentorship program. I'm particularly interested in this. How vibrant is this? How is it working?
Yeah, so we've had some getting that off the ground and getting all of the relative information to sort of connect with the students. So I've had a lot of communication with the professors and administration of the Dominica State College to get that off the ground. There are a lot of things that are needed there. So I can give you some more information on that. But we really sort of in the initial stages of getting that moving. We see that as really important. I mean, I've heard so many stories of friends who went to the US, landed, and they were in a t-shirt and jeans, and it was 20 degrees outside. They weren't even prepared for the weather, or even what schools to select and that sort of thing. So we think having the prior experience of coming not only to the US, but to England and Canada and elsewhere, we can help educate the students in Dominica as they plan for their studies abroad and ask what to expect and how can you do it better. Had I known all of what I know now, there are a lot of things that I could have changed. I certainly don't want to change my experience. It's made me who I am, but there are certain ways in which you can certainly have made this a lot more efficient and, probably even make some better choices. And why make a mistake when you have such a strong group, really, a strong bench that can help you and guide you accordingly. I mean, just like what Richie did for me, that one little conversation that changed what I end up doing in life, we can certainly help in that regard.
Let's take a call quickly, Nigel. Yes, let's take a call quickly. Connecting the dots. Good morning.
Morning, Yvonne.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning to your guests and them and your co-hosts. I just want to compliment these men or organizations. In spite of going overseas, they always remember their country and they come together to assist in whatever area that they can and come back and give back. I just want to compliment them very much on that. But let me just throw out something there. Every time we have these programs, it's always somebody coming from the level of the highest education system, if you understand what I'm saying. Like from college or the grammar school, and then they form these groups among themselves. So I'm just wondering, why is it that people who come from the boys' school and left the boys' school has never come together and form some form of committee together or something like that? Thank you.
Well, let's... Go ahead. Go
ahead, follow in anyone.
I want to tell the lawyer. I want to tell the caller that he was correct when he started saying young. These young men. I noticed he's kind of.
we really appreciate that, right?
but I have to say, even and we just talked about this earlier. Although we went to sixth form college, we also came. I'm a product of boys' school and the Dominic Goodwill School, and I have seen associations out there for the convent. I'm not sure about boys' school particularly, but some of the high schools do have people out there. And I had a conversation with Paul the other day in terms of not only all of the other professionals in Dominica who did not go to the to in the world, we should find a way to sort of leverage their talents in helping Dominica, because these people are just connected to Dominica. I took my children to Dominica every year, and I think, you know, Dominica is part and parcel of who they are. And so I agree with the caller. We need to find ways in which we can leverage people who went to other schools and people who are offspring of the children. I just mentioned, and his name is Mentor, Phaedra's husband. You know, there's a little Dominican sprinkled in him right there, even if you didn't went to Dominica. You know, we're just as proud of him that he won the Nobel Prize, and we need to take advantage of all of those talents, and 100% agree with him.
All right, Nigel, I'm looking at the time already, and we have to talk about the grand affair. Because you know I have my close related on that.
Yes, the sunset, the grand. Tell us about this grand event.
Nigel,
how can someone win a ticket today on the program?
Yeah, I think Paul is saying something. Yes, Paul.
Nigel, I want to preface any discussion with the grand affair to ask again. Did you get Ivonia's white outfit? And is it ready to go in your grip?
It's in the grip. It's in the grip. Yeah. And I hope special I have to move from a suitcase to a grip.
Yeah, man.
It's in the grip, and it's coming through.
Okay, all right. So I can bank on you.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
So tell us about that big event. Mm-hmm.
We're having an elegant all-white soiree in Dominica during the Creole Festival week. Now, keeping in mind, Creole Festival is a very busy time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We chose Wednesday. We know most of the diasporans and most of Dominicans will already be in party mode. So we're starting off Creole week, the party weekend, on Wednesday, right, with our grand all-white elegant affair at Kai Mama Mwe,
with a hint of Creole, right? Evergreen. With a hint of Creole. You said all-white, but with a hint of Creole. Okay.
Right. Now, if you don't have any hint of Creole, we'll still let you in, but we might look down upon you a little bit. So yeah, but we're encouraging people to showcase the madras against the white. And we're starting the event at 3:00, you know, keeping in mind that, you know, people might be a little late. But what we want to do is capture the sunset, all right? That day, I believe the sun sets at what, 5:38 p.m.?
5:38 p.m.
You have the exact time there. Right. Wow.
So, yeah, 5:38 p.m.
We've very strategically started the event such that we have a significant amount of our attendees, and we can do some really good photo taking with the white and madras against the sunset. This is a fundraising event. We have chosen the infirmary, Home for the Aged, as our sole beneficiary of this event, and we've had interactions with them before. And the intent is to utilize the fact that there's so many people coming home for the first Creole post, COVID. Mm-hmm. And, you know, raise some funds, you know, for an institution in Dominica that really does need, have several areas of need that we've identified. So we think this is going to be a great networking event in terms of people from all over the world and connecting with each other. We expect it to provide that high level of socialization that we've come to associate with DISA. And then we also want and expect that folks will have a really, really good time. You know, we've put a nice lineup together, you know, Carlin XP, DJ Urban, is it? Yeah. Selector Urban, Major Mystic, Ecstasy Band. We have a sprinkling of jimping in the middle there somewhere. We've got still band playing to get your juices flowing. And we just think this is going to be a great mixture of elegance, networking, and good old fun, having a fun day. Mm-hmm. We anticipate that this is going to be an annual event because we would love to every year just put on an event, choose an institution in Dominica that the funds will go to, and just make it bigger and better every year. But this is our inaugural event, first time doing it in Dominica. We have a high level of excitement and interest. both from local Dominicans as well as the diasporas. And we think this is going to be a great kickoff to the Creole weekend. And we look forward to everybody participating. Now, there's been few people out there who thought this was only for DISA members. This is open to the general public. We want everybody and anybody to jump on board. To date, we've secured some interesting, sponsors. My local construction company is one of the headline sponsors, Oyo Construction. We've been gracious enough to get Flo to be one of our sponsors. And then we've recently just secured Secret Bay as well, the #1 resort, luxury resort in the Caribbean, as our third major sponsor. Secret Bay is very interesting in the sense that you get a chance to win a weekend trip for two at Secret Bay when you attend our event. So talking about something interesting, get a chance to go to the #1 resort in the Caribbean, I think #6 in the world, if that last count. And when you attend the event, you get a chance to actually win that package of a trip for two, weekend trip for two at Secret Bay. Okay. Wayne, you want to jump in?
Yeah, so Paul did a great job
go ahead, Nigel.
in highlighting the event. We're also going to do a 50-50 raffle, if for those familiar with that, where you get to win 50% of the contributions from that raffle for the people who purchase tickets. You're going to have a lot of local foods there. We have a nice wall that's being built so people can take out and share their pictures. And Nigel mentioned one thing about how can you win tickets. Well, if you share this on all of your social media platforms, share our event from our page at the Dominica Seafocal Alumni Association, one lucky person will have a chance to win 2 tickets to the event. So we encourage everybody to share our event on their social media platforms. You can go to Dominica Seafocal Alumni Facebook page or Instagram and share our event. And we will draw, and one of you will win 2 tickets to the event. And we'll be looking for those shares today, throughout the day. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, don't forget to share. Yeah, so we have a huge event. Not only a great lineup, we have the Petit Savan Jingping Band, we have Dan Pius who's going to play in Seal Pan. And, when you come in here, you're going to feel the difference because you'll be coming into some steel pan music as the event kicks off. We have a VIP area. You can buy a VIP table for 4. Right now, that's at a huge discount. So at $450 for 4 people, a table for 4. Or for $90, you can join and be in a VIP section. Or for $45 for general admission. And this is really like an all VIP event because even for the people in general admission, you're going to get either some good water and some rum punch when you come in as a drink. In addition, if you decide,
and finger foods.
And some finger foods. And if you go to VIP, well, you're going to have a feast because you're going to have a meal in addition to you're going to have all of your drinks on the house for the night. So I think you should step up and just go ahead and do a VIP. And by the way, I think a little birdie tells me the discounted price is going to end this weekend. So you want to go ahead and buy your tickets because the price is going up come Monday. And not only that, if you don't
you mentioned tickets, Wayne, how does one get tickets very quickly in terms
you could go to Eventbrite.
If you're not in Dominica, how do you get tickets? And if you're in Dominica, how do you get tickets?
You can go to Eventbrite to buy your tickets and search or look at the link on our Facebook page. You can go to TicketPal and also buy your tickets online. If you want to go somewhere in Dominica, you can go to Bullseye and buy your tickets. You can go to Deepex and buy your tickets. And so you have any one of these 4 ways to purchase your ticket, either online or at Deepex or Bullseye in Dominica. And buy your tickets early before ticket prices go up on Monday. Share the link on all of your platforms to get a chance to win 2 free tickets to the event. And show up at the event so you can win a weekend at Secret Bay. or a 50-50 raffle. Essentially, we may end up paying you to come to the event. I mean, what's better than
give us the
I hear Secret Base $1,000 a night. $1,000 a night to stay at Secret Bay. So you figure if you have a weekend at Secret Bay, that's $2,000 right there plus VAT, whatever VAT is.
Give us the venue. Give us the location again.
It's going to be at Kaimamamwe, formerly Evergreen. That's just before the old Cicero hotel. If you headed out of town there, and it's going to be huge. We want you to join us. One of the things that's coming, we want to get some T-shirts for the people who want to help publicize the event, and we'll probably put that online so you can purchase a T-shirt talking about the event. But that's in the works. Join us, share if you want to try to win. But I wouldn't hold up on buying your tickets expecting to win the tickets. You know, if you win the tickets, you can give that to somebody. Go ahead and buy your tickets now, but still share the event so you have a chance to win 2 tickets.
And of course, again, just as Paul mentioned, this is not an event just for CFOPOL members. It's open to the general public, right? But anyone can attend the event.
Anybody can attend. Anybody can
That's
attend.
Correct.
And take your picture at sunset. It's important to be there early so that you can take your picture at sunset and share it on your social media platforms and tag us. You know, we're putting a great effort into this sunset event, and you know, other people may have tried to copy us with this whole sun thing down, but the sunset event is the real event on Wednesday. And you know, Wednesday is hump day. You know, in the US they call it Wednesday hump day. That's where it really makes the difference. The middle of the week to change your weekend is going to be. And so on hump day, we want to change what your experience is going to be for the weekend, to be ready for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you got to be there because I don't think there's anything else that can compare.
Yeah, white sunset, not only, as Wayne said, is going to be a warm-up for the weekend, but, you know, and Ivona, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's the only fundraising event going on during the Creole period.
You're referring to that particular day?
There are other events. Pardon me?
You're referring to that particular day?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So clearly, this event, you know, has the objective of it is to raise funds for a local institution and to further DISA's mission. And, you know, so you're coming to have a great time, meet a lot of interesting folks from around the world. And at the same time, you are giving to your community, directly to your community. So there's so many upsides to being there. You get to meet a Wayne Liebert that you haven't seen in 30 years.
Like a meet and greet sort of.
You know, there's a lot of excitement. You know, building up around this. You know, we hope to see a whole lot of our old friends as well as new, and you know, really just have a great social event where, you know, everyone walks away feeling that, you know, it was well worth the time and well worth the money.
All right. So look out for me. I'll be wearing a Connecting the Dots crown. So once you see that crown on my head, just know it's Ivona.
Just make way.
Yeah, man.
Just make way.
You know, and I don't want to show our age, but I was thinking about this whole 30 years thing, and when I started CFOPOL, it was more like 40 years ago, you know.
Yes, sorry. But you look good, all of you. So that's nice.
It doesn't show the way. It doesn't show.
Yes, are you looking like some spring chickens there, boy?
Yes. But I mean, listen, guys, it was a pleasure having you guys on, connecting. And we hope we can do it again. But between then and now, we definitely want everybody to go out and get your tickets, visit the sites, get an opportunity to contribute, not just in terms of being at the event, but contribute in terms of helping a local organization, which is very important as well. So go out there, purchase the tickets, be part of the event on Wednesday. It's Wednesday, October 26th.
Yes.
All right. So you want to make sure you go out there and you support that. Apart from that, you also want them to support whatever the Alumni Association is doing. If you're not a member, go onto the site, become a member. I'm just going to throw this out there. They might kick me out as a member. I'm just going to throw this out. Guess what? If you're not a member, and you come to the event, you get free membership that day. Boy, they're going to kick me out from the association. If you are not a member and you would like to become a member, you have to attend the event. And once you attend the event on that particular day, only for that day, you will get free membership. So come to the event.
I like that. I like that.
Okay.
They didn't kick me out.
All right, so guys,
I like that.
We have to end. Let's thank you for joining us this morning. It's really a win-win situation for this grand event. So let's see how it unfolds. I should meet you guys when you land in DA. All the best. We'll talk again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right then. You take care.
Yes. Okay. I wanna.
Yeah, man, Nigel.
I can get a couple hours now.
Yeah, you need that.
Later for Triple K and for all the other Dominica events, my mechanical weekend. And then after the weekend, I'll get all my good rest. But connecting again, we do that next week, all right, my dear?
Yeah, definitely. God willing. You take care.
Take care now.
All right. Short while we'll join the DG Saturday Jams. Let's ensure that everything is working out as it should. Stick around.
Thank you. We gon' sing, we gon' dance, we gon' set this world on fire. Through the darkness, I love you always. We gon' set this world on fire. Bring your love, set me free. We gon' set this world on fire. Take my hand, come with me. We gon' set this world on fire.
Major Mystic.
We gon' set this world on fire. Take my hand.
Pleasant day. Warm welcome. Another edition, of course, DG Fun Time. The boy Major Mystic in the building, huh?
The sun don't know the way this love burns. I know it's true, I'm
Come on easy, man.
way the world turns. I'll find you, come and go, but always return.
Brand new material, let me kick on a cereal.
Love me, just don't leave.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the vibe today, okay?
Hey.
DG Fun Time, your boy Major Mystic in the building, huh?
Down in my heart and my soul, that's where you are. Yeah, yeah. Always gone too long when you're gone away, away, away. Oh yeah, they tried everything just to keep us apart. They don't know one look from you is like a spark to my heart. Hot, burning love. They don't know this love. We'll set the world on fire when we touch. Hot, burning love. They don't know this love. We'll set the world on fire when we touch. We gon' sing, we gon' dance, we gon' set this world on fire. Through the darkness, I love you always. We gon' set this world on fire. Bring your love, set me free. We gon' set this world on fire. Take my hand, come with me. We gon' set this world on fire. Written in the stars, written in the stars. No, no, no. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. We'll never be apart, never be apart. No, no, no. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. Hot, burning love. They don't know this love. We'll set the world on fire when we touch. Hot, burning love. They don't know this love. We'll set the
Major
world on
Mystic.
fire when we touch.
Mystic.
We gon' sing, we gon' dance, we gon' set this world on fire. Through the darkness, I love you always. We gon' set this world on fire. Bring your love, set me free. We gon' set this world on fire. Take my hand, come with me. We gon' set this world on fire.
Big one here. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, huh?
Bring your love,
World on Fire, the name of this one.
set this world on fire.
Private Ryan, Freetown Collective, Patrice,
This world on fire.
Nigel Rojas. Keep it right here, boy Major Mystic in the building. It's DG Fun Time.
It's official! With Digital Plus, you get award-winning internet speeds